Hello everyone, welcome again to another video. So today's tutorial is about how to make this mini beaded table and chairs. Actually, this is a subscriber's request and I decided to share it with you all. So let's get into the video. Over here on my table, I have two different colors of bead. I have red and I have a white one. Okay, this is red in 8mm and this is white bead. Okay, you can decide to choose your own colors to make this table and chairs very beautiful. So both of these bead are in 8mm. Okay, the size of the bead 8mm. You can choose your own choice of colors to make this beaded table and chairs for yourself. I'm going to use the red for the design and the white for the outer color and the main color of my chair. Okay, this is going to be the main color and this is the design color. Now let's get started. So I'm going to use fishing line in this weave and I just cut to the length of my arms can take. That is what I cut. Okay, now I'm going to start with 4 bead. I start with 4 white bead. I'm going to string all these 4 bead on the line like this, and I'm going to hold the last one and cross my right line into it and pull. You crisscross like this and pull down. Make sure the ends of the line are equal so you don't have one line longer than the other. All right, now let's continue. This is 1 unit we made, and now on each side of my line, the right and the left, I'm going to put one bead on each side of my line like this. Okay, this one to the right and this to the left like this. We have something like this, and this one I'm going to cross both ends of my line into the third one and pull. Cross, pull down. Now we have 2 down. Now on each side of the line again, left and right, I put one bead on it, put it on the right and the left like this. Okay, because they are sharing one in common, we add one to each line, and now I'm going to cross both ends of my line into the third one and pull. All right, you have it like this. Okay, we put one on each side of the line. Now I'm going to cross both ends of my line into the third one. Crisscross into this third one and pull down. We have 3 units done, and this is how it's looking like. All right, this is 1 2 3 1 2 3. Okay, so now this is how we pick our next bead. Okay, white on the right and red on the left. Then I'm going to cross into the white one and pull down like this. Okay, the white to the right and red to the left. Then we are going to cross into this one and pull down. Crisscross like this, pull down. Now again, on each side of my line, I'm going to put one white bead on each side of my line. Put one to the right, white to the left. Okay, then you cross into the third one and pull down. Cross and pull. Again, I'm going to repeat again the steps. One bead on each side of the line and cross into the third one and pull down. Cross and pull. Okay, like this. Now on the right line, this line, I add 3 beads to the right line. I'm going to hold the last one and cross with my left line and pull down. That way my line turns on the side so I can start a new row. All right, this is how it's looking like. We have red in the middle, so I flip it to my side. Now on the left line, I add 3 beads to my left line again. I'm going to cross with my right line and pull. Now we start another row again. Okay, start another row. Now my right line into the next bead. Pull through the next bead, and on the left line, I add 2 beads to my left line. Okay, like this. Now cross the right line into the left bead and pull down. Into the next bead, put the right line into the next bead. So over here, I'm going to drop 2 red bead. Okay, this is 2 red bead on the line like this. Pick up the last one and cross the right line into it and pull like this. Now into the next bead, I'm pulling through the red bead. Okay, pull through the red bead. Now on the left line, I add 2 red bead to the left line. Hold the last one and cross with the right line and pull down. Into the next bead again, I'm pulling my right line into the next bead, okay? On the left line, I add 1 red bead and 1 white bead. Hold the white bead, cross with the right line and pull. Now we started the design in the middle. We are going to continue with the white bead. So my right line into the next bead again. I'm pulling through the next bead. All right. Now I add 2 white bead to my left line. I cross with the right line and pull down. This is how it's looking like. My right line again into the next bead. So I'm pulling my right line into the next bead. And now the same line, I add 2 bead to the line, okay? To my right line. Now I cross with the left line and pull. That way my line turn on the side again. Then I start a new row to continue. This is how it's looking like for now. Now on the left line again, I add 3 bead to the left line. And I'm going to cross the last one with my right line and pull down like this. Now my right line again, okay, this is how it's looking like. My right line into the next bead. I'm pulling through the next bead. So over here, I'm going to drop 2 red bead. 2 red bead on the line. That's the left line. I hold the last one, cross with my right line and pull down. Now my right line again into the next bead. Pull through this red bead. Now I add 2 red bead again to my left line. I'm going to hold the last one and cross with my right line and pull. My right line again into the next bead. Pull through the next bead. And on my left line, I add 2 red bead to my left line. Cross and pull down. Into the next bead again, which is the red bead over here. I'm pulling my line through the red bead. I add 2 bead to my left line. Hold the last one and cross with the right line. Pull down. Now into the next bead again. Pull through the next bead. Now over here, I'm going to add 1 red bead and 1 white bead. The red first before the white. I cross into the white and pull. And now we are getting the shape of the design, okay? My right line again into the next bead. Go through the next bead. And the same line, my right line, I put 2 bead on it like this and cross with the left line and pull down. That way my line turn on the side again, so I can start a new row. I flip it over to my side and we are going to start a new row. So my left line, I add 3 bead to my left line. I cross with my right line and pull down. I'm going to pull my right line again, my right line into the next bead. Pull through the red bead. And on the left line, I add one white and red bead. Okay, I'm going to cross into the red and pull. My right line again, right line into the next bead. Pull through the next bead. And on the left line, I add two red beads to my left line. I cross and pull down. Now my right line again into the next bead. Pull through the next bead. And now the left line, I add two red beads to my left line. I cross with my right line and pull. Now my right into the next bead. Pull through the next bead again. Now my left line, I add two red beads to my left line. Okay, like this. Cross and pull. Now I'm going to pull through the next bead. I add two white beads to my left line. Cross and pull down. Again into the next bead. Now I'm going to add two beads to my right line. I cross with my left line and pull down. Alright, this is how the shape and the design is looking like. So I flip over to my side again and we are going to start. So my left line, I add 3 beads to start with. Okay, 3 beads to my left line. Hold the last one and cross with the right line and pull down. Now my right line again into the next bead. I add 2 white beads to my left line. Cross and pull down. My right line into the next bead. Into this red bead over here. Okay, now I add 1 white. I drop 1 white and red, and I'm going to cross into the red bead and pull. So now my right line into the next bead, and here I'm going to put 2 red beads on the line. Okay, so I cross and pull down. Now into the next bead. This is how it's looking like. Okay, we complete this shape, the diamond shape, and now we are going to continue with only white bead. Alright, we complete the shape already, the design already, and now we are going to continue. So I pull my line through the next bead, okay, and I add 2 white bead to my line. Into the next bead again, I add 2 white bead to my line, like this. Over here my line is short, so I'm just going to weave these ends back a little bit into the bead and trim it off. Then I continue with a new fresh thread. Okay, so I'm just weaving the line back into the bead to make sure it's secured in the bead before I trim it off. That's all I'm doing here. Now let's continue. I add a new line into the bead. Okay, that is where we stop. I'm going to continue. So I add 3 beads to my left line. I'm going to cross with my right line and pull down. Now into the next bead, my right line into the next bead. I add 2 beads to my left line, cross and pull. Now my line into the next bead again. I pull my right line into the next bead. I add 2 beads to my left line, cross and pull down. I'm going to pull my right again into this red bead over here. Pull it through the edge bead, red bead. Add 2 beads to the left line, cross and pull. Now into the next bead, I add 2 beads to my left line. I cross with my right line and pull. Into the next, I add 2 beads to my left line. I cross with my right line and pull, and now we are coming to the end. I pull through the last bead over here, and now I'm going to add 2 beads again to my left line and cross with my right line and pull down like this. This is how the design is looking like. So I'm going to weave the rest of this line into the bead a little bit to make sure it's well secured. Then I trim it off. So I'm just weaving these ends into the bead so it doesn't unravel. Make sure it's secured in the bead before I trim it off. And this is how it's looking like. This is the design. This is the shape that we are going for. And when you're done, you have to make 2 of these, okay? I made 2 of these like this, and we are going to put it together and join both pieces together. This is my line that I cut. So I'm going to show you how you can join these 2 pieces together. All right. Now I'm going to hold one piece and pull my line through the edge bead. Okay, this edge bead over here, I pull my line through it. All right, now I'm going to add 1 bead to my line and drop 1 bead on the line. Now I'm going to hold the second piece and pull my line through the edge bead again. The same edge bead we pull through the first piece, we do the same for the second piece. Hold both ends of the line together and pull like this. All right, now we have something like this. So I'm going to pick up 1 bead, then crisscross both ends of my line into the bead and pull, cross and pull down. Now my right line into the next bead. Okay, on this side I pull my right line through the next bead, and on the other piece I hold my left line and pull through the next bead. Okay, like this, and pull. Now I'm going to take 1 bead and crisscross both ends of my line into it and pull down. This is how it's looking like. Now my right line into the next bead, pull through the next bead, my left into the next bead, pull through the next bead. I take 1 bead, crisscross both ends of my line into it and pull down like this. And this is what we are going to repeat into the next bead and into the next bead on the other piece on the opposite side. Take 1 bead, cross both ends of my line into it and pull down. Okay, I'm going to pull through the next bead again. Let's go through the next bead on this side, hold the left line, go to the next bead on the opposite side. I take 1 bead, cross both ends of my line into it like this and pull. Now into the next bead again. Now left into the next bead. Take 1 bead, cross both ends of the line into it and pull down. Now into the next bead again, into the next bead. All right, pull through the next bead, the right line into the next bead, hold the left line and go into the next bead. Pull through the next bead and take 1 bead, cross into it and pull. And that is how we are going to repeat our weave on this piece round until we complete. Okay, so I'm just pulling through the next bead. I'm taking my time to do this so everybody can see it and make it, okay? If you think the video is going fast, just pause, come back and watch it again so you don't miss a step on the weave, okay? So I'm going pulling through the next bead and my left line into the next bead. All right, go through the next bead, and now I'm going to take one bead, cross both ends of my line into it and pull down like this. We are going to repeat the same into the next bead, left line into the next bead. So we are going to continue like this, round this shape until we complete. And this is how it's looking like. Very solid, very beautiful, and the design is very bold showing in it. Now we are going to build the leg for this top table, okay? I'm going to pull through this bead on the side. All right, I'm going to use a cubic right angle weave to raise the legs, okay? Now I'm going to use this 4 bead. You see this 4 bead over here, 1 2 3 4. That is what I'm going to use to raise the leg, okay? Now I start with 3 bead, cross and pull. So now I'm going to put my right line into the next bead, okay? Remember, we are using the 4 bead. This is the second. I'm pulling my line through, all right? So I'm pulling through the next bead, and I'm adding 2 bead, okay? This is my left line, and I'll be adding 2 bead to my left line, like this. Then cross with the right line and pull. Now I'm going to pull through the next bead, okay? Go through the next bead. Remember, we are using the 4 bead in the corner over there. Now I add 2 bead to my left line. I cross with the right line and pull. All right, now let me open it for you to see. I'm going to pull through the last bead over here, which is the 4th one, okay? Now I pull through the last bead. All right, now let me pull the line to close it nice and tight. Now the same line I pull through this bead, the edge bead over here, this one, pull through it so we can step up and continue the weave. All right, we are going to step up over here. I take 1 bead, cross both ends of my line and pull. So now we come back to the 4 bead on top again. You see the 4 bead? We are going to build on this again, okay? We are going to build on it and continue our weaving. So now my left line, I add 3 bead to my left line and I cross with the right line and pull. I'm going to pull through the next bead. Now on my left line, I add 2 bead to my left line, cross with my right line and pull down. Into the next bead again, I add 2 bead to my left line, cross and pull down. I'm going to pull again into the next bead. This is the 4th bead over here. I pull through the next bead and this one, the one on the side, so we can step up and continue our weaving. I take 1 bead, cross both ends of my line and pull. Now we are going to continue again. I start with 3 bead, cross with my right line and pull into the next bead again. Then I add 2 bead to my left line, cross and pull into the next bead. I add 2 bead to my left line, I cross and pull down into the next, and the one on the side, I'm going to pull through the last bead over here and step up with my line into this bead. All right, pull through the edge bead, up, take one bead, cross both ends of the line into it, and pull. Now we are going to continue again. This is how the weave is looking like. We are going to continue on the top 4. All right, I start with 3 bead, cross and pull into the next bead, into the next, add 2 bead to the left line and cross with your right line and pull. I'm going to go through the next bead again. I add 2 bead to my left line, cross and pull down. I'm going to pull through the next and the one on the side, pull through the last one over here and this on the side, so we can step up and continue. This is a quebec right angle weave that we are using to make the leg of the table. All right, you can count from where we start, 1 2 3 4, or 1 2 3 4 5, okay, from the down. So now we are going to complete this with a red bead. I start with 3 bead, cross and pull down into the next bead, 2 bead, into the next, I add 2 bead to my line, cross and pull into the next bead and up on the side bead. So I take 1 bead, crisscross both ends of my line into it like this and pull down, pull it down like this. Now we complete the leg for our mini beaded table, and this is how it's looking like. I'm going to lock the line and then weave into this bead round to lock my line. Okay, I'm just weaving round into the last top bead. I'm going to pull through this one and I'm going to cross into this one that the line is already in. Okay, I'm just crisscrossing both ends over here, cross like this, then I have both ends of the line locked into that bead. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to weave a little bit back into the bead before I trim it off. I'm going to weave it back into the bead like this. You can weave it as long as you want, and this is how it's looking like. Okay, hold the second one and weave it back into the bead before I trim it off. That's what I'm going to do, and this is how the design is looking like. You have seen the shape already, how the table is going to look. So we are going to continue with this 4 bead, then continue this 4 bead on the corner over here, 4 bead. You are going to raise again on this 4 bead over here, and that is how we are going to make our mini beaded table. I'm going to do this off camera and now meet you back here. So I'm going to do all the rest and come back and meet you here. And this is how it's looking like. Very simple, very beautiful. We complete our miniature table or mini beaded table, how you want to call it. And this is how it's done. Very simple, very easy, and very beautiful. Please continue in the next video on how the chair is made to this table. They look very beautiful and simple. Everybody can make it.